but I will have to say FUT Esports has been holding out on us, Trex. This is very different from any draft we've seen from them so far. Regardless, we are jumping into the land of Dawn for game number 1. Team Vitality faces off against FUT Esports to see which team will be moving on from the quarterfinals.
It has been a day of upsets at this point. Underdogs coming out on top. Team Vitality with a pretty straightforward draft. But look at the damage from Nora actually already. Winning out in the lane a bit there. Nobody's going to go back home though.
So it is going to be a Kaja roam. That means Mireya is going to be playing the Akai in the jungle. Looking at the overall emblems, nothing too out of the ordinary. It is focusing Mark on the Kaja, so it looks like this is played more of a traditional roam Kaja, like in the past, as compared to Kyrie's jungle Kaja style.
I mean, it's big pick potential, right? Gives you something similar that you would get from the Franco, something that when you're in these big fights, especially Turtles and Lords, you can almost guarantee getting one member if you can pull off the play well enough. He does have the flicker, just like you said, very traditional.
Very traditional. I'm honestly excited. It's been such a long time since I've seen a classic Kaja roam, but there's also a reason for that. You would typically go for something like a Cho instead if you wanted to prioritize heavy single target pickoff. And I understand that suppression is generally going to be stronger and a little bit easier to work with when you have heroes like Claude and Lancelot around. But if you don't find the right target, it becomes kind of hard to work with.
Well, I think the good thing about the Kaja though, ooh, a little bit of damage. Petrify does land on Mireya. Heavy spin does come out. Three-man spin. A lot of damage coming in. The perfect pin. Vivial forced to run away. Might not be able to escape the flicker in from Nora. It's a double kill over to FUT Esports.
What a way to debut your jungle Akai on the MWI stage. 3 members of Team Vitality. Oh, hold on.
Oh, nice response on Amiko there. But now Fumi Echo as well, taking a lot of damage. FUT Esports will be able to get the turtle, but by losing their gold laner, giving a small advantage over to Shell up in the top lane.
Yeah, it's not ideal because Hardif should be able to win lane in a 1v1 situation, but I'm still shell-shocked by that first play. A 3-man heavy spin pin before the 2-minute mark is unheard of. Means that Team Vitality does have to give a little bit of respect over. FUT Esports has already shown that they know how to respond to highly aggressive early game teams.
All right, so you were mentioning the Kaja earlier, how we haven't seen it in a while, and you know, why not go for something like the Cho? I think one thing you do get from the Kaja is you don't only get pick-off pressure, but you get great peel with the Kaja. You keep that defense because he doesn't have to go in. To whereas the Cho, you're not really going to sit and hang around with your team, you know? You can't really protect your back line, but if Nora needs to switch gears and just sit around Miko and wait for Vival to come in, she has that option. So you get kind of this double face from the side of Nora. It's not maybe as good at getting the pickoffs, but at least it supplies 2 options.
Ooh, but there is actually a niche interaction. Kadita was recently changed so that she's CC immune during a lot of her animations. Suppression bypasses that. So it's one of the few heroes that cancels the combo coming out of Cine.
So you just yank her out of the water is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically.
You literally grab the fishing pole
it's a fishing
and
line.
yoink her out. I like that. That was a very good change up for Mooten. Definitely a vibe. Back onto the map though, 30 seconds till the turtle comes in.
FUT Esports right now playing it a little slower. Unohana in 1v2, but the Fury of the Phoenix instantly comes out in response. The Arlet, you can see how strong the hero is.
Unohana, ever so aggressive. The rest of FUT Esports coming down, they're going to turn around and head back up to that turtle. 10 seconds on the clock till it's up. Vival down on the boss side, back at the orange buff. Does FUT Esports try to rush this? A lot of damage on Nora. Nora maybe goes too deep, able to get some health back with that skill too. Nice final slash does lock on. Turtle falls over the side of Mireya. Big pin, heavy spin. Echo brought back along with Vivian. A lot of damage coming down. Vivian drops Miko, able to get the kill. Cine in a little bit of trouble as well with the rough waves, able to get back, but look at the damage! A double kill for Shell. Drop down another one. It's a 4-man wipe. Team Vitality, it just took one play.
A massive reversal coming in from the Indonesian team right there. It looked like it was going the way of FUT Esports. The heavy spin pushed them back into the tower. But then FUT stayed for just a little bit too long, and this is where the damage questions came out. Once the Zaman Force expired, it was free going. And unfortunately, FUT Esports stacked up too much. A 3-man Petrify after the rough waves. Cine used it at an off timing, and FUT Esports were not ready.
So much damage from that combo. We now see the lethality of what Team Vitality can bring here with just one big combo, instantly turning this into a 2K gold lead for themselves. For a second, it felt like they were behind, but now they are back.
I actually specifically love the usage of the Petrify after the ultimate, because everyone is hardwired to only think about the Petrify after seeing the Kadita flying towards you. You are no longer considering it if she's trying to escape with rough waves. So Cine made use of that. Once they all stacked up, they all got caught in the blazing duet. Shell, who is supposed to be losing gold lane to Mieko, is now 3-0 on the clock.
Yeah, not only 3-0, but 1,000 gold ahead of Miko there. A little over 1/3 of Team Vitality's gold lead is in the hands of Shell right now.
It's incredible what they've been able to do just from that one singular play, and that's why you cannot afford to let your guard down. Oh,
nice grab. Vivian shouldn't be able to get away with this. Fist crack almost to defend, but it's not enough. Miko drops him on Force and gets the kill.
and that is 2 big ultimates used on the roamer right there. So Team Vitality may actually still have a better positioning on the next turtle.
A little bit damage. Nora taking a Thorn Rose to the face there. Maria forced to back off. Retri does come down. Bible tries to lock on. Miko on the backside with his Mons Force, able to keep Cine at bay. Unohana misses the final slash. Turtle still low. Bible to lock on, but the Blazing Duet to the backside, finding multiple members. Unohana drops as the rest of the team is forced to disperse. Feeble trying to clean things up. Cine finds Miko. Thorns Rose unable to connect. Vival's gonna move on to the orange, to the purple buff now as Nora tries to push him back, but Vival still, nope, does not get it. Maria gets it at the last moment.
And that's a consolation for FUT Esports. If they lost that as well, they would have been a massive deficit because Vival is already 2 levels up on Mireia. Team Vitality had great composure, amazing spacing in that last fight. And we talked about this. 2 big ultimates used on Vivian alone means that Vitality are in a more comfortable position. The rough waves drop Mireia low to the point. Oh, they're still fighting.
Shell should be okay. Continue the thought.
Yeah, they dropped Mireia low. The Akai could no longer go for the retribution. And then they were all scattered apart. FUT Esports were basically on the retreat. And with no Zaman Force, they have no damage once again. So Team Vitality can just wait for that opportunity to re-enter with the Blazing Duet.
Team Vitality, even the way they're approaching the map right now, very aggressive, always on the opposite side of the map. Miko, Smon's Force does come down, dancing around, sense the attack. Down comes the Falling Star Moon from Fumi Echo. But FUT Esports handling it well, handling this aggression by kind of rolling with the punches, trying to kind of keep up with their pace and the rotations.
FUT Esports now definitely playing on the back foot. This is a team that has been able to recover from... Oh, Cine!
Petrify, take out rough waves. Nora down, Maria though with the heavy spin, trying to bring Vival back. The Thorn Rose does get the iframe, but it's still not enough. Miko able to get the kill. Jungler for Nora. A good trade for FUT Esports.
I think at this point they probably want to back it up. Team Vitality gonna look to re-engage.
Maria goes down. They get a jungler for themselves. Team Vitality seem to continue to come up on the exchange.
Yeah, once they were able to trade for Vival, FUT Esports should have just backed it off. They overcommitted, and what would have been a good trade ends up in a losing side for them once again. Team Vitality is well aware that their opponents are very cooldown based. If you enter after the ultimates are gone, when Zaman Force is no longer available, there is basically no threat to them on the field.
All right, taking a look at the items. Anything pop out to you?
Everything looks pretty standard. We do have a Dominance Ice first item for Nora, so focusing a little bit on that anti-heal against Fumi Echo. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. This is one of the issues of the Kaja as well. The hero is a lot squishier than your typical frontliner.
Yeah, and it takes some time, right? It's definitely a much slower... I mean, with that plus the Akai jungle, you have no real... It's going to take some time. Like I said, this was our big worry with this composition. There's no big damage dealer except for Miko. Zendaya on the Zitian. You get a little bit of something there with the first 2 skills in terms of damage, but even that takes some time, and falling behind 4.5k gold lead, I'm surprised they're not losing more right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well. Team Vitality have been so efficient with the way that they've been playing the map and just counter-engaging. Something that FUT Esports is supposed to be better at with all of the big team fight ultimates that they hold. It's supposed to be wait for Team Vitality to start the fight, then you catch them off guard, push or pull them out of position. But FUT Esports has unfortunately been stepping on the gas pedal, and Team Vitality are the ones that have been forcing them to do it a lot of the time.
All right, so FUT Esports being on such a back foot, Lord will connect onto the space, but it's already pretty low. They may not lose an inhibitor to this push.
Looks like they indeed won't, and luckily the mid tower is still standing strong, so Team Vitality won't be able to get too much more map control with that one. But oh, Vivian.
Ooh, Nora gonna get the pull back, a lot of damage on Vivian, but look at the blazing duet once again. 3, 4, make it 5. It's a full team wipe. Team Vitality, the brutality, they seem unstoppable.
Just as quickly as they entered, they left the earth scorched in their wake. The flanking play by Cine and Shell claims its next victim and allows Team Vitality to take game number 1.
Team Vitality continues to make this look easy. It's not a problem. An 11.5-minute game there in dominating fashion. Where does FUT Esports even go from here?
I think you can no longer afford to commit your draft so heavily into full pick-off crowd control. By going Akai, going Arlet, going Kaja, they are giving up a lot of damage potential and basing a lot of their team fight potential off of cooldowns that the opponent can very easily keep track of.
Yeah, it's a tough road. I'm not saying the Kaja was a bad pick, but the Akai and the Kaja, now we're pushing our limits. We both wanted to see more damage from them. I get the idea, but there's other things that weren't going to push it through. It would have been way too slow of a game, and Team Vitality was never going to let it go that far.
At Team Vitality, I'm really amazed at the Bloodthirst, actually. The moments of opportunity that we're taking advantage of. My MVP definitely going to be Cine for this game. Set things up so perfectly for the debut of Kadita. And mind you, this is how the game started.
I mean, honestly, yeah, they had that great 3-man pin. For a second, we were both hype about this, like, whoa, this new comp's going to work. And then once we saw that big play, the big knockup plus the blazing duet in the mid-top bush.
I think it was right here.
It already happened, I'm pretty sure, a bit before this. But I mean, yeah, it was rough. And we continue to see that petrify. Now we're wondering, is this Kadita going to be a solid pick for the future?
I do think it is a pocket pick. I recall Cine having played Kadita a good amount in the past before, so they probably fell back to that, and they already knew it would be a great counter to Desertian as well. I don't think even they expected it to work just as well against the rest of the team. How about you, Leo? Were you surprised?
If anything, I think it's the Claude that they got away with. The Claude is the one bit of greediness in that draft, and the Kadita was just what they needed to be able to shock FUT Esports into submission. We'll be looking more at the post-game statistics to be able to understand exactly what made Team Vitality's approach to this victory so brutal. 15-5. I guess FUT Esports really only had, control of the first 3 minutes? The first 2 turtles, give or take. And I'm looking at Onohana, and I'm thinking, hey, maybe they can make this work. She can win this dead lane. She can hold it down, but looking over Team Vitality, they also have an Esmeralda. So even that Arlot isn't safe. Even the Harriet, I think the Harriet also is a weak point of FUT Esports' draft.
Yeah, if you're going to build something like this that is just all control up front, I think you need something a little more meta, a little more damaging, a little bit more menacing than a Harith in your gold lane.
Unfortunately, after banning out all of the different gold laners we saw, we were expecting something like an Iritel, and we know that Harith is a comfort pick for Miko, but you are once again locking in a hero that's very based on cooldowns, right? It means that you can only fight at very specific points and as a full team.
Something interesting in Fumi Echo's emblem build, she's rocking Rupture. So she's investing a little bit in penetration. I don't know what the rhyme or reason is behind that, but looking at her build on that Esmeralda, it's the old-fashioned Esmeralda. The book, the dominance ice, the oracle. So I guess it really is just the put a nail in the coffin once she does find the Harith, once she finds the Arlet. Hell, when she finds the Akai makes shields.
That is true. Honestly, looking at the composition from Team Vitality, it's like we've traveled back in time a little bit, right? We have the classic Claude, the Kadita, the Esmeralda with the old build.
The Badang is just the 2025 flavor.
Yeah.
And Vivian plays it so well. This is the mother of tanks in action. She's graced us with her presence here in Stream B.
I think Vivian did actually have a little bit of difficulty initially since she was getting picked off, but then lock it into the mid game. I feel like we have some players on here that are also existing in the past, so they've even affected the graphics itself.
That's how good Team Vitality is.
We'll skip that over and sweep it under the rug. Here's a look at the damage allocation alongside damage taken. And you see that Mireia took so much. Mireia took so much, she tanked a lot, but she shouldn't be. The reason why you pick the Akai is so that you can neutralize your opponent's front line. You can neutralize key targets. She just took too much damage, and it led to her heavy spin being used more defensively.
Now, this is the unfortunate issue I have with Akai Jungle. It is putting a hero that needs to do something in a role that needs to do something else. Because you need to be standing there getting the retries, but you're also the person setting up the fight, getting the pins. It is a lot of responsibility for a single person.
It's too much to expect a singular panda to do, despite it, having Kung Fu training worth centuries put into her. Shell, though, leading in damage. Look at that, 39,000. As soon as we saw that early wipeout, I could have sworn it was over. Because a Claude does not have any business doing that early.
No business at all. I mean, you could chalk it up to the fact they were just all able to combo so well. I think it just goes to show how in sync Team Vitality is after the years of playing together.
They've been doing this for almost half a decade.
It's just another day for them. It's another Friday.
Turkey, it's nice that you debuted, but this is their year. Team Vitality. Look at the gold distribution between these XP laners. Fumieko versus Uno Hana. Twice as much in minions. Twice as much in kills and assists. Fumieko is running over all of FUT Esports. Again, this Esmeralda, when you see an Esmeralda rock sprint, she means business. She's going straight for you, and there's almost nothing you can do about it.
We've definitely been seeing a resurgence of Esmeralda in the meta nowadays, especially with all the sustain heroes in the EXP lane. She actually does a very good job of dealing with heroes that are otherwise hard to kill, right?
I played some Esmeralda last night. Felt great.
It does. I play a lot of Esmeralda too, and it's actually pretty annoying how well she deals with some of these heroes. Even heroes like Lapu. Lapu would typically be quite universal, actually end up losing the lane. And I think that's exactly why they picked her and gave her the Rupture, right? They wanted EXP lane prio.
It takes a very specific kind of killer instinct to make an Esmeralda this lethal, and so quickly too, alongside a lineup that has a Kadira, a Claude, and of course, that Lancelot. Again, the Lancelot just helped close up the gaps in that lineup. And yep, there it is. It's a tag team between Vival and Shell, just cleaning house. They were stealing each other's kills, like who would walk away with a triple with the Maniac. And after that second turtle, I think that was it. The map was cracked wide open. FUT Esports were left gassed.
I mean, even here, at 7 minutes, a Claude doesn't have that much business doing what that Claude is doing.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
this
Lord, every time. And this is what I meant. It's the synergy, man. That's what's able to push these heroes to their limits right here.
Unfortunately, as powerful as Divine Judgment could be with that suppression, it's still very difficult to actually get someone a sizable enough distance for it to matter, right? So because of that, they have to commit not just the Divine Judgment, but also usually like the Final Slash or the Heavy Spin on top of it.
Yeah, the question is, what do you do if best case scenario, you do find someone, a key target with the Divine Judgment? That's why you usually see combos like Kadira, or rather Kaja Beatrix, Kaja Carry. Like, these are your creme de la creme combos for this pickoff hero. Here, it was paired with an Arlot, paired with a Zetian, paired with a Harith. Like, maybe there could have been a better composition that Coach Asmo employed to give his girls a better shot at upsetting Team Vitality. Now we're prepping up for game number 2. What exactly will FUT Esports do? Because it's all on them, honestly. Like 99% of this, the question falls on them because Vitality can just continue doing the same thing. They can just keep playing the way they do, and knowing how deep their hero pool goes. Again, you mentioned they've been doing this for close to forever. They can dig back as deep as meta games from 2021, 2022.
And they've already shown it, right? They brought your heroes out, builds out that haven't been seen in a little bit. Another very successful debut as well. A lot of these girls are bringing in heroes that you typically wouldn't consider and making them work in the precise moments. I think that while FUT Esports did try to do the same thing, there are certain limits to how much you can experiment.
I would say it's limitless.
They are limitless.
They're all limitless, and that's what it seems like it's been. Every time we think that, okay, that's enough. Okay, no more new heroes. Okay, this isn't gonna work. Somehow another team makes some new hero work, like the Kadita here. Yes, the Kaja and the Akai maybe didn't work well, but still something on the other side was able to prove the point that the meta is wide and the girls are taking full advantage of it.
Gentlemen, because of that best of 3 that went all the way between Onyx Partiwi and Terra Queens, we now know that Zask is a known element. Zask is real. What he brings to the table is legit. And with Zushin still being a big priority, and of course these assassins just popping up, even the Lancelot in the hands of Ival, should that maybe be a check for FUT Esports? Should we ask Zendaya, do you have a Zask? Because that could be a good stopper. That's how Terra Queens upset Onyx earlier today.
It is a good stopper, but it's also a hero that's meant for a slightly more scattered gameplay because you get good zone control, but the hero itself doesn't really do a lot of damage until you have some items later on, and even then it's slow, right? And very weak against high mobility compositions. You only really pick it up if you're for sure knowing you need a hero that can protect itself in the mid lane.
With that said, we no longer have to speculate. We'll just watch the draft unfold. FUT Esports on the play. Team Vitality answering back. Snafa and Trex. Let's put this thing on lock.
Let's put it on lock indeed. Because right now, Team Vitality is holding the lock and key to this series. FUT Esports and needs a win here if they want to bring us to a game number 3 and keep themselves in the competition.
Taking a look at the bans, Uranus, Farza, Wanwan, nothing too different. This time FUT Esports will take the blue side. First pick up front. And something is definitely going to have to shake. Something is definitely going to have to change.
Badang first pick ended up working pretty well for Vitality previously. They're going to be on red side now, but before this, I don't feel like FUT Esports really had the habit of picking Badang particularly early either. So that could be a possible pickup.
Yeah, but I mean, the Badang has been a popular first blue side pick for a whole lot of teams, especially with the Gatak gone. That normally has been the secondary roam for a lot of teams. And it's been winning out, and I think for a good reason. It's just right now the Badang is so capable, and even early on, because even without the fist crack, you get the wall up and everything, and you're able to still trap heroes up. You're able to win out of that mid lane, maybe even secure some early game kills for your team. It's just an aggressive roamer from level 1 forward.
But it does also still lose the more aggressive divers, right? That's what we saw in the previous game from Terror Queens. The Hilda Khalid combo completely messed with Badang's ability to create any sort of space early on. So there is still risk that you have to play. It's just unfortunate that in game number 1, FUT Esports didn't really give themselves heroes that would be able to punish Badang's slightly weaker early game.
All right, so first pick for FUT Esports on the gun. Does the Badang come in here? Do we maybe see something else? Uranus not open. Wanwan's gone. Farza's gone. They go for the Basha.
Yeah, Baxia has been almost 100% banned throughout today, actually. This is the first time that he's been led through the draft, and FUT Esports are, of course, going to lock it in straight away. Now, ordinarily, this is a hero that would serve as a very good counter to the Kimi, but it looks like that's not a problem for Team Vitality, because that's actually their response.
I mean, that was the thing that kind of brought Basha back into the meta with Kimmy becoming so popular. So many teams were picking it, but Team Vitality's not worried about it. They're going to pick up a Badong and the Kimmy. And I guess with the I feel like when Basha first came back, he was much more in the roam position. Right now, with him being much more in the jungle position, it's a slightly different story, but we've also been seeing tons of teams flex him over to the roam last minute.
Yeah, that's why a first pick Baxia is just so effective in the first place, right? That flexibility is why teams prioritize him. Now, the Kimmy is actually a fairly safe pick still, because with Farsa already banned out, there's actually very few mages that can match that level 1 wave clear. So in this way, Team Vitality makes up a little bit for Badang's weaker level 1.
They say we don't care about the mage. We're going straight for Lancelot and the Aerithil. Taking a much more aggressive approach to this draft. They do slot the Badong into the roam position, so it is something that can help deal with the Kimmy now. It can stay around that Kimmy now all throughout the early game.
Yeah, definitely. Lancelot Aerithil going to pop up for FUT. Aerithil was surprisingly ignored throughout the entirety of last game, so it's nice to see her getting prioritized this time, but every other gold laner is also going to be open. The only ban on it currently is that 1-1. So it's up to Team Vitality to decide, do we want to lock in our gold laner now or risk having multiple marksmen banned out in the second phase? And it looks like the former is going to be their choice. The Moskov going to make his appearance.
Moskov coming out. Bans, both teams looking for an EXP laner at this point, and both teams looking for mage for the side of FUT, and Vitality still need their jungler. The Hayabusa seems to have been falling. At least today, we haven't seen it as much. GG played it a little bit earlier, but a lot of teams have been favoring the Lancelot. A lot of teams have been favoring other choices for damage dealers. We've seen the Suyo pop up. So my question is, do we think Vitality is going to go into something more on the damage side here?
They would already have a pretty solid amount of damage with Kimmy and Moskov.
Double marksman.
Yeah, the flexibility is actually there. Team Vitality can either go for an assassin again, like the Ling or Hayabusa, the matchup against Lancelot, or they can actually pivot entirely and pick up a Fredrin, and that would give him a lot of front line to work with.
I like the Fredrin here, and it looks like FUT Esports knows the idea of a utility jungle could be out there because they decided to ban out the Akai. Big chance we could see that Fredrin ban from them actually, especially since they already took the Basha. Akai's gone. If you ban out the Fredrin, you don't leave many other opportunities for utility jungle except for like the Xborg that we've seen a few times, but it's been very 50-50, maybe even 40-60 or so.
With Lancelot and Aerithil already on the opposite side, Xborg jungle is highly unlikely, so I don't think you need to ban it, but the Zask ban is very interesting. We literally talked about this right before.
Leo's sending messages over there, man. He's
very happy.
He's got flies on the walls in those player rooms right now. He knows what's coming. Good call for Leo. I would have never thought of that. On the side of FUT Esports, what's the last ban? Like I said, I think you just take out the Fredrin here, man. You just play it safe and don't give them that opportunity. Arlot, though.
To be honest, though, banning out the Zask here isn't something I would consider very necessary, so it means that there's something they're locking in after this might be countered by the Zask, and it makes me think that Team Vitality might want to go for a second game of Kadita.
Second game of Kadita?
It's not as good.
I mean, no,
but
it can still work. It can at least, it's definitely much harder to catch the Lancelot, but it can catch the Aerithil still. Could catch things like that. I think the Joy's also still open. If they want to go full damage here on the side of Vitality, if they want to go for something of that nature, we'll see. Or you mean, wait, do you mean Kadita on the side of FUT?
No, Kadita on Vitality.
No, where are they going to put the Kimmy?
Oh, right.
Yeah, you're gonna, they do
the
pick
end
up the
of a
Fredrin.
day.
At this point, though, FUT could pick up the Kadita. Would be a decent answer against the Fredrin. Even be able to kind of outrange the Kimmy. Could be something that they steal out of the notebook of Vitality right here and now.
It's possible. And with two marksmen, there would be pretty good targets for it as well. But we just saw the Kadita debut in the previous game. We don't know if Zendaya's gonna have the hero in her pool in the first place. but multiple artillery mages have already been taken out of the field. Zetian is still open, but going to be particularly vulnerable to double marksmen, especially Moskov.
Yeah, they go for the glue in the EXP lane, and they go for the Lilia. This is another hero that has been 50-50. We've seen it lose a few times. Was another hero that was picked up by GG early today, able to get the win. So it has been hit or miss, but against the Fredrin, against short-range marksmen, against something like the Badang, it does kind of work a little. What she suffers against is the long-range heroes, and everything that Vitality's bringing where they want to be grouped up like this, the Lilia could take advantage of.
Yeah, and Lilia is a traditional counter to the Fredrin. Does love playing against those slower frontline heroes, but it's going to become very easy one-shot material once Moskov has some items. So this means FUT needs to be in control of the game towards the early to mid phases, because they definitely lose out on late game scaling.
Okay, and they pick up the CC though, something that can at least rotate and catch up with the glue. How you feeling about the drafts?
I think Vitality's draft is very honest. It's very straightforward, front to back, with a little bit of dive potential on the CC. FUT has bigger conditions to meet, which is, once again, you gotta win out early to mid game, or at the very least make sure you're not behind in farm. Otherwise you will just straight up lose late game to Moskov Kimi.
All right, well, we will see. I definitely agree that Vitality's draft is very honest. But this time, it seems like FUT Esports is pulling a couple pages out of the old meta book with the Lilia. And even though their draft isn't exactly full current meta, it still seems a little on the honest side. There is a pretty clear objective on what needs to be done. But it is match point for Team Vitality. One more win to take them to the top 4. FUT Esports on the ropes, trying to tie the game.
The Turkish representatives have surprised and caught us by our toes this entire tournament, but it feels like they may have met their match in one of the most experienced teams in the women's MLBB ecosystem. Now might be the final opportunity they have to show us what they have learned in their first foray to the international stage. Looking at the overall emblem setups, we're already seeing very offensive choices coming in from Team Vitality. 3 quantum charges and 2 impure rages, including on the CC.
I mean, it's definitely aggressive. Team Vitality, I'm trying to think, you know, early game, mid game, late game, first turtle with both teams. I mean, with the Lancelot, it's going to be a slightly quicker jungle clear most likely, but I still always like the Fredrin in the turtle pit. But also the Lancelot, once you get that level 4, Phantom Execution is a great way to steal away turtles, a great way to steal away lords. You don't have to hang in the pit to be able to get a neutral objective.
But it's also going to be difficult to try and contest those against a well-played Appraiser's Wrath. It is going to come down to a bit of a 50-50 how well both these teams are actually able to set up the Lord pits. And for now, I do think that FUT Esports has the slight advantage since they are playing multiple late game scalers.
Evil comes up, gives a little face check to Unohana up there. Unohana feeling a bit of pressure. Turtle will pop up on the top side, and you can tell that both teams are ready for it.
Nora gonna be the first one to start bringing it over to their side. Vival gonna show herself as well. Neither jungler is level 5 yet, still waiting for their buffs to spawn.
Nora taking a little bit of damage there. Gonna get knocked up. Appraiser's Wrath comes down. First blood over to the side of Team Vitality. At this point, FUT Esports might not even want to go for this, but watch Maria looking for an angle, maybe looking for a way in, but Vivian's got her number and is gonna send Maria away.
Losing your roamer, especially a Baxia this early in the game, is basically a guaranteed lost turtle. Now we can see Nora just trying to provide assistance elsewhere on the map. The fact that she died there as well means that she does not have access to level 4. So Team Vitality already holding on to a bit of that early lead that FUT Esports needed to avoid at all costs.
Look at Vivian, man, just being the nuisance right now. Face checking Maria non-stop. It's going to be a problem if Team Vitality keeps up this type of pressure. Even Cine rotating up getting involved in these fight. Maria now trying to dash through, gets hit by the first crack and taken out. Cine able to get the kill. It's a rough start for FUT Esports.
That felt a little bit unnecessary. Mireia knew there were multiple people there, saw Vivian right in front of her, and still decided to try and challenge it. If she did iframe the fist break correctly, then sure, it would have been fine. But what would you get in return, right? It is a high-risk, no real reward situation.
Uh-oh, next target locked on. Nora getting taunted, getting taken out. Vival with another hit with that Appraiser's Wrath. That's 2 kills in the book onto Nora.
Team Vitality really does like bringing up past victories because that was a very much deja vu kind of situation. The Appraiser's Wrath smooshing Nora into the ground, and that means 2 deaths on the Baxia in the first 4 minutes. This is one of the tankiest early game heroes in the game. And it shows how well Team Vitality have been rotating, despite the fact that they really shouldn't have this much map control yet.
Yeah, it feels like Team Vitality, the blood's in the water, man. They smell it. They know that, I think they're playing like they just know they're better. You know, this is when you start to see teams come in and they're just playing aggressive. They feel like no mistakes can be made, or at least FUT Esports is going to continue to make mistakes, and Team Vitality is playing it well.
And Team Vitality is already invading jungle, stealing buffs away. FUT Esports are not able to respond in kind. I think after witnessing their past rivals being dispatched so unceremoniously, Team Vitality is not pulling any punches. They're not taking any chances against FUT Esports.
So FUT Esports needs to rewire very quickly. Pop the reset. Uh-oh, over in the bot side. Thorn Rose does come out. Maria almost caught off. No, the flicker through! Definitely worth it. Definitely value.
Vivian's going to be very happy with that one. FUT Esports going to try and trade for a bottom tier 1 instead, but Mieko takes it pretty slowly, and the curtain call locks them both down.
Man, Shell, maybe in a bad spot. Nora, Miko trying to pick up, or FUT Esports has lost down to the boss side. Even more action as well, though. Vival, 1v2, gonna get caught up. Grab, slam. Vival might finally goes down. Maria able to get the kill. Team Vitality gonna be forced to maybe slow down a bit here.
Finally overstepping. Ooh. Shell 1 shot away from death. Lucky that there were no more minions. But Team Vitality is not letting up the pressure.
Another fist crack onto Maria. When will Vivian stop the heavy crossbow?
Oh.
Down comes the SOD long range. 100-yard field goal for Shell. Unohana might just be the next to drop. Team Vitality knocking them down 1 by 1.
All the way from the other side of the land of Dawn, Shell finds the snipe right through the heart of FUT Esports. And we just see multiple skirmishes happening all across the map. Even though Vival got punished for diving behind the top tier 2, it did not matter to the rest of our team. They are still finding opportunities to create as much space as possible. You can see in the itemization, first items already completed across the board for Team Vitality. Fumi Echo and Shell and Cine both at their second, actually.
Almost everyone on the side of Team Vitality has a minimum of a 500 gold lead over their opposing laner. Team Vitality just feels good right now, and we're only just getting a 3rd turtle, and the lead is getting already out of control.
Out of control is honestly an understatement. We already set this up in the draft. If FUT Esports falls behind in the early to mid game, they are not keeping up with the scaling of Team Vitality. And the gap is already so massive that they're not able to get anywhere close to the turtle pit. Not to mention, the best thing they can trade for it is that bottom tier 1.
Yeah, that's first tower of the game for FUT Esports. And at this point, the trade, yeah, it's helpful. It's something. They have at least put a standstill to the gold lead. It stopped. It's been at around this 4.3 to 4.5 mark for the past 2 minutes or so, which is good. They're, you know, they got the tourniquet on right now. They're trying to stop the bleeding as much as possible.
But how do you stop the bleeding when even more wounds keep showing up? FUT Esports just has to try and slow it down. We see a flank attempt.
Nora from around the back, the slam as well onto Echo. Fist crack does luck on his A, but the black shoes pop. Down comes the SOD. Does not commit through though. Maria there as well, trying to get to the back line. No members of Team Vitality will go down, but a nice stun is not connected by Unohana, but at least the disengage happens.
But all this while, it is a 5v4 situation. Shell is actually pushing the bot lane, nearly taking out the tier 2 tower. That is the situation that FUT Esports finds themselves in. They are able to so comfortably just walk into FUT Esports as half of the map because they have so much to work around. You can see the difference in gold. You can see the difference in EXP.
Man, at this... Oh,
Vivian!
no! Once again, the fist crack connects. Unohana shredded down. No orange buff for FUT Esports. I mean, they're not even fighting for turtles or lords right now. They're just trying to get their own jungle.
Even their own jungle is difficult. It's like having to walk a mile to the nearest store. And Team Vitality purposefully extending the road.
Black shoes from Zendaya. Bible tries to come around the back. Maria there as well with the punctures through. Knows that they can't take the fight. I will say FUT Esports is at least doing that well. They're using all these fights just to disengage, try to control waves, try to protect towers.
They were able to get the first kill on Fumi Echo the entire game there. Team Vitality actually got a little bit too ahead of themselves and left the CC behind. But looking at the item, Shell already completed with the Trinity. Nico actually not too far behind. This Irritel could still be a saving grace for FUT, but that means that they need to protect their marksman. And Team Vitality is gonna generally be looking for her in every fight.
Yeah, the way that this first Lord goes is gonna be huge. Even a Team Vitality most oh, Miko in a bad spot, pops a heavy crossbow.
Ouch.
Still goes down. Shell might get targeted down by Nora. Can Nora and Unohana maybe get something here? Shell looking for the outplay. It's 2v1, bashes him against the wall, in comes Zendaya. Shell still hanging on, but finally gets shut down by Zendaya.
Maybe a little bit greedy there, but Shell actually got the solo kill on Mirko even after missing the Spear of Misery. And all of that is space created for Team Vitality to also get the Lord. It's not really worth it to lose your goal laner for that, but Vitality is so far ahead that those are acceptable losses. It barely makes a dent in their overall economy.
And Lord does go over to the side of Team Vitality, and it's going to be coming down right about now with this wave coming out of their base. I think if FUT Esports cannot lose an inhibitor here, like a major base tower, then it increases their chances a little bit.
That's a tall order though, Trex. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do that. They're not particularly well suited for base defense in the first place.
With the, you'd be surprised, the Lilia, you set down, I mean, if she plays it right, the goal with the Lilia is you set down multiple glooms. She's kind of doing that now, maybe a little bit too early. You're supposed to do it before the Lord comes. You set them all down. You got about 5 sitting there, and the moment Lord walks over, you pop them. And it does an amazing amount of damage. It's not too bad for a siege defense if they can pull something off here.
But Zendaya is already so behind on gold. I'm not too sure if it's enough, and Vivian's already here to stop her.
And she misses all the glooms right there. Lord does come in onto the base. The rest of Team Vitality follows right behind. Lord now onto the base. Match point for Team Vitality. Does get shredded down. Moraine to the backside, able to puncture through. Keep Vitality at bay. They're cutting lane though, waiting for the next wave to come down the mid.
Vitality keeping it standard. There definitely could have been an argument to just shove their way in and try to muscle to the finish, but they know what is at stake. A victory here would be a clean path into the semifinals. They don't want to lose that.
Maria with the puncture once again, but a fist crack connects. Immortality does pop on Vivian. Damage on Nora. Nora drops. Miko will be the next to fall. Stunned, taunted. Appraises Rat down. Immobilize on Unohana. It's nothing but Zendaya left. No black shoes. No more lives. Team Vitality will take the game and go to the top 4.
The series is claimed by the favorites. The underdogs, unfortunately,